Good morning. Good morning. I'm technically challenged this morning, but I am on target. Good morning. This is Rich Wallace, and you have joined an episode of Strictly Business on EdgeTVNetwork.net. So thank you so much for coming in and being a part of what we're doing this morning. I have a wonderful guest on today, but we're going to just jump back into our session of what we've been doing all week, and that's about being prepared and getting ready. Are you ready? Get ready, get ready, get ready. This is Rich Wallace, and you have joined an episode of Strictly Business. And today we're going to be talking about show me the money. Where is the money at? How can I get connected? Grants are coming back around. There's some other DLU grants. There's some also grants for people that have employees so that you can be able to keep them, earn some money, or get some funding that you don't have to pay back. That is some interesting stuff. How about a little bit of money you don't have to pay back? But remember, what we talked about was getting ready and being prepared for the flow or the income or the overflow that you may be receiving that you've been asking and praying for and trying to get ready for. And all of these things, it is necessary for you to be able to clock in and do what you're trying to do to be able to get funding so that you can have funding to manage your employees, to pay managers, and to do some of the things that you need to get done. This is Rich Wallace, and you are early. Looks like we got some folks popping in early. Thank you so much for coming to be a part of Strictly Business. This show will change your life. If you are ready for a life-changing situation, it may happen to you this morning between 7 and 8 o'clock. It's Friday morning. It's an opportunity to step up and make some things happen. We're going to have Miss Antoinette Woods coming on when we come back from our commercial break. So be prepared for this dynamic conversation and funding and how to get paid. It is important that you get funding and that you are able to maintain your business and to stay around. This is Rich Wallace. We're going to take a short break and we will be right back.
Are you ready to change your life? Let us help you. At Youth Build Charter School, you can get a high school diploma and kickstart your dream career in no time. We offer high school diploma programs in construction, CNA, military, college, and entrepreneurship. If you are between the age of 16 and 24 and you want to manage your studies with a job, recover your credits, or graduate early, we can help you achieve your dream. Call us at 1-888-395-4408 or visit youthbuildinlandempire.org.
Well, we are here live, Miss Woods. So this is, once again, good morning, everyone. This is Rich Wallace, and I have Miss Antoinette Woods on, and we are going to talk about some funding that you need to hear about. So I am going to shut up because I know y'all listen to me all morning, and I'm going to bring Miss Woods up right now. Yes, ma'am. How are we doing today, ma'am?
Hi, good morning, Rich. We're doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, thank you. Let's get into, because we only got an hour, and I know the detail and the information that you're going to be providing and the questions that are going to come up are going to be important. So let's talk about that. What is the title of the funding that we're talking about now?
So the title that we're talking about is called Employee Retention Credit, or for short, you'll hear people say ERC. Okay. And it came out with the CARES COVID Stimulus Act around the time that PPP loans came out. And a lot of people have heard about PPP loans, but they haven't really heard about ERC. The reason for that is the qualifications have changed 5 times. Originally, if a small business took PPP loans, they couldn't take advantage of ERC. Originally, they had to show a significant drop in their revenue during COVID. And now the government has basically opened it up to practically every small business out there that has under 500 W-2 employees, and they can qualify to receive up to $26,000 for each of those employees. So this is definitely a great program for every small business to apply and see what they qualify for and take advantage of this tax credit. Basically, the government is saying, you know, you worked during one of the toughest economic times other than the Great Recession or the Depression. You kept your employees on payroll. And so this is their way of giving a little bit back to the small businesses in our communities and in all of the United States.
Okay, with these employees on So those employees that they're giving the funds for needed to be employed for the previous past year, or
Yes.
can I take this money and go out and hire some new people? Or how does that work? Yeah.
No, so great question. That is the main qualifier is these employees had to have been on payroll sometime during quarter 2 of 2020 when COVID started and when this act was passed through quarter 3 of 2021. But companies have 3 years to amend their payroll tax forms. So they have until quarter 2 of 23, which we're coming on next spring, to qualify for 2020 all the way until quarter 3 of 24. But we definitely tell businesses you want to get out there, qualify, because just like anything with government and with money that they're giving, you never know when they're going to shut it down. You never know when they're going to decide, you know what, we don't have enough people to process this, or we've given enough money. So it's definitely something to get ahead of the curve before the actual amendment expires.
Okay, so if I've got 2 employees and they've
Mhm.
been with me since what is they need to be since 20 June of 2021? Is that
Um, yeah, if you had them, if you hire them during 21, then those wages would qualify up to October 31st of, no, September 31st of last year, 21.
okay? So if it's only for people that have employees, but if
Mhm.
I'm an independent, sole proprietor, and I first of all I couldn't afford employees, so I'm here, and my wife is here, my girlfriend or whatever, my homeboy, he works, comes in, and I try to stifle him a little bit, but that's not a W-2 employee. That's just somebody that's coming to help me. Is that
Correct. So if they are 1099 employees, they wouldn't qualify. It does have to be an employee that you're, paying those payroll expenses and their W-2. And also for family businesses, the owners of the business and their immediate family members' wages would be backed out. So for
Mhm.
those small businesses, if they have 3 or 4 employees and they have they have a wife or a girlfriend, as you mentioned, if it's an immediate family member, their wages wouldn't qualify, but the friend would if they're a W-2 employee.
Okay, okay, and they
Mhm.
can get up to $21,000 per person that works there. Now, does that person have to stay a longer time after this? After I get my money, can I fire them?
No, yeah, I mean they could have stopped working for your company starting January 1st, 22. The only wages that you're submitting is for those quarters in 2020 and 21. We
Okay.
actually have a lot of businesses that because of COVID, restaurants, bounce house companies that actually have shut down because COVID was so hard. But they've been able to qualify for wage expenses that they had during COVID, trying to stay open. And so it's been a replenishment to maybe their, savings. Some businesses had to take seconds on their home, and they've been able to pay back some loans. So yes, it's definitely it's a credit for the snapshot of a business doing business during COVID from the quarter 2 2020 to 21. There's also a different type of qualification if a business started during COVID, which would be after February 15th, 2020. They would be considered a recovery startup business because the government said, you started a business during one of the toughest economic times. And so those businesses could qualify for up to 100,000 total. So
Mm,
that's how they count that type of business.
okay, so tell me about the paperwork that I got to turn in. Is
Oh,
it a long application? Do I got to go ask them for a copy of their W-2? Or what do I have to turn in to get this?
right. So with our company, we have a really efficient and streamlined process. The application takes about 5 minutes to get an immediate credit estimate of what a business could expect back. They would need to know their total sales or total gross receipts for 2019, 2020, and 2021. This is because one of the ways to qualify is if someone had a revenue reduction. And the government has made it easy. You just need to look at total sales and compare by quarter, which is nice. A second thing to know is what the average full-time employee count that a business had during that time. For the government, a full-time employee equivalent is someone that works on average of 30 hours per week. Part-time employees, wage expenses do still count. They just probably won't get the full 26,000 per employee, but they will still count as long as they're a W-2 employee. We enter the application, you get a credit estimate, and then the business owner gets an secure email link to upload their 941 payroll forms. And normally they might have an accountant or a payroll company or a bookkeeper taking care of those. And they can just forward the email link to that person and and the email will show what they need, and they upload those 941 forms.
Okay.
And then they sit back, they wait for our company to do the analysis, and our company has payroll, tax, CPA experts that will scrub the documents, and then they will send a DocuSign page that says, this is congratulations, this is the credit we analyzed for you. Sign, and it gets sent to the IRS.
Okay. Now, when you mentioned credit, I heard that word a couple times.
Mhm.
Is my credit score have anything to do with this? If I've got bad credit,
Oh, no. No, luckily not that at all. All that matters is that a company shows that the wages that they spent during that time, and then they will get qualified and they can receive up to the 26,000 per employee.
okay. Now, I had a friend of mine has a restaurant, made it through COVID, but
Mhm.
just 3 weeks ago decided to close. Had
Okay.
employees, I'm shutting it down. I'm getting out of
Uh-huh.
my lease. I got all of this crazy stuff going on. So I had to release all of those people, had to shut
Mhm.
down. Now, if I'm shut down, can I open back up to get that money to try to recoup some of my loss? Or once I shut down, is it over?
No, it's for any business that has quarterly tax returns from that time. We've had a few businesses that shut down, even a few restaurants that shut down at the end of last year, or they shut down at the beginning of this year because it was just too difficult. They tried to hang on with COVID. So as long as they were a business during that time and they're able to submit those payroll forms for each of those quarters, they will qualify.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So, all right, that sounds pretty easy. Uh,
Yeah.
and some people would say, with all of the scams going on right now, and
Yes.
I'm getting emails saying, fill this out and we'll send you $10,000 because you went through COVID, or 5,000. And some of them are so inviting and so
Mhm.
believable. Um,
Yes.
and they even use the IRS some terms in there, and we are pre-approved by IRS. But when you look, follow them up, and I've been telling
Mhm.
our members, so if you got someone that's saying they're with the government and they with these agencies and they have a Gmail, then
Uh-huh.
you might want to not, be a part of that. Or if they have
Right.
.com email, and usually a lot of the agencies have ending that starts with that ends in gov. Now your email doesn't, or does it?
Mhm.
It does not. Okay, so how would I? Is there a way I can check you out before I send you my stuff? You know,
Mhm.
what a how can I keep from, because I believe you. You look
Yes.
believable. I don't see most of the folks. So how
Yeah.
does a person evaluate that this is legit with you guys?
Well, our website, www.ercdirector.com, you'll be able to look at actual live video feed of customer testimonials. It has the facts, it has all the information on there. Basically, it's really how you meet a person and word of mouth. What we're finding is there's a lot of companies coming up, and they are soliciting small businesses. They're getting email lists, they're getting phone book numbers, and they're calling these small businesses now multiple times a day offering ERC. Whether they're legitimate, I do not know. They could be, but the thing is, ours is a nationwide company. It's out of Utah. We back the audit. We have tax, and we have payroll, and we have CPA experts. I myself, I have a business economics and accounting background from UC Santa Barbara. I have my MBA. I've worked in government, and I'm not representing government, but I do know how government works. And this is definitely a very legitimate tax credit program. If anything, what the worry is that because there are so many companies popping up that are saying they process this, I feel like small businesses are getting scared or are thinking it's a scam and it's not legitimate. And so there's going to be small businesses, if they don't meet someone or if they don't have a business or personal contact that says, hey, I saw this person or I met this person and they process it. There might be a lot of small businesses that miss out on this that could really be a huge impact to their finances for this year. And so it's really just what you're doing is amazing, having me on, getting to share the information, be a legitimate resource for these businesses.
Okay. So now you're independent from the government, right?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So now are there other companies that do what you do? That I know we were a part of the DL grant, and we only got people in, they submitted their paperwork and it went right to a finance company, Lending Street. They proved it, and then it got funded from the government, from the State Department, where those funds came.
Right.
So in yours kind of works the same way. Is there a fee or a charge, or do you get a cut from
Right.
my funding?
Yes. So the way the fee works is we don't charge anyone, any business, anything to do the application, or if they don't get a credit through the application process, through the time that they upload the documents and the actual analysis, final analysis is done from our experts. Once that is all done and the small business gets a DocuSign page and it says, congratulations, this is the credit that we calculated for you. Would you like us to submit this on your behalf? If so, you DocuSign. At that moment, the business has the option of either paying 10% right then or waiting, and we have a 15% fee when they receive their credit. And so what's really great about that is we're not charging up front. Even businesses that maybe try to qualify through their CPA and they didn't, we always tell them, use our platform, see if you qualify, because it's free. We don't charge a fee up front. And we find that it's pretty beneficial for businesses that don't want to, pay any money just to see if they qualify for anything.
So once I get my qualification letter,
Mhm.
then they will deposit the funding. I'm sure they want the routing number and all of that about the bank account. So they'll do a
Yes.
direct deposit. And when I get that deposit, do I owe you, or have you already hit them up and taken your 15% out before I get mine?
Right. Yes. You won't have to pay us. It'll be all designated out once you select, and it'll be set up. So it's a very easy process at the end.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back to reinvent or re-give you this information one more time to be sure you got it. This is Rich Wallace and Miss Woods over here, and we're with Strictly Business, and we'll be right.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.
And we're back. I'm here with Miss Woods, and we are talking about grant funding opportunity for a small business that has employees, W-2 employees, so that you can get funding to help you with your payroll, to help you with your light bill. And that's one of the questions that we're going to ask is that, okay, how designated is this money? Do I have to spend it a certain way? And I want you to kind of go back to the beginning and let us know that that's a W-2 employee, so That
Right.
means that that person works for you, that you tell them what time to come to work and
Mhm.
what time to leave, and you give them a lunch break. So that's a full W-2
Exactly.
employee that had to be with you this year and last year. Is that right, Ms.
And
Williams?
no, actually, if they were just with you during COVID, so from quarter two of 2020,
Hmm.
anytime during quarter two of 2020 to quarter three of 21. So they could have been hired January 1st of 21. It's all about looking what the total payroll expenses were for a business. And you are correct. There is no designation for how the money has to be spent. It's not like PPP loans. It is legitimately a tax credit into the hands of the business owner. And it's basically just the government's way of saying, you retain these employees on your payroll. And we know it was a very hard time to do business. And you do have to upload your 941 payroll forms to show how much was spent on wages and per employee. And yeah, it goes straight to the business owner to choose what they want and how they want to spend it.
Okay. For
Mhm.
those that are not doing the 941 form, I got employees, they W-2, um, and a lot of small businesses dance around
Mhm.
employee, not employee,
Uh-huh.
independent contractor, not
Right.
employee, but I'm treating you like an employee because I don't
Mhm.
want to do the 941 form. I don't want to pay for payroll taxes. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to get around unemployment insurance taxes. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get around there are about four to five different taxes that the small business person is paying for that
Mhm.
employee. Because if I'm paying you $15 an hour, it's probably costing that guy $17 or $18 an hour
Mhm.
because there's taxes involved and all of that. But I'm dancing around trying to not have workers' comp
Yeah.
because I'm doing everything I can to try to save money. So I've taken this person that is working for me, and I've told them, listen, I'm gonna have to pay you under the table because I can't
Mm.
do this 941 form. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a legit businessman. I'm just doing a Donald Trump move to try to dance around the taxes. So uh, and legal or illegal, you do need the 941 form to apply for this loan. I mean, for this grant.
Correct, correct. It would have basically, it's just a snapshot, and what you're submitting is something that business owners would have already created, would have already had their accountant or their payroll people do because it's just a form that they're having to take care of quarterly already. So yeah, if an employee, it is expensive for business owners to have employees to pay those taxes into state and federal. I was just at a Build Expo the last 2 days down at the convention center. And many of those, general contractors said that workers' comp insurance is just so expensive in California. So they sub out in 1099 basically all of their employees because of that. And so that's really where this money is going back to, is how expensive it is for these business owners to keep these employees on. So they would have to have the proper forms. They wouldn't be able to, make up or fake the employees that they had 1099 and want to change as W-2. That's part of our process. Since our company Backshire Audit, we are very specific on the forms that we need because our company, we want to be able to vouch and we want to be able to give an accurate and proper estimate. And so that's why we do have the analyst process that takes about 2 to 3 weeks on our end.
So it's at least a 3-week process
Yes.
after I've turned in my paperwork, and all I
Mm-hmm.
have to do is just be patient and
Correct.
wait the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks or whatever that process is. Uh, I do need to have a tax ID number. Oh, let's ask about that. There's a new thing now with Dun and Bradstreet that people are no longer taking the Dun and Bradstreet numbers, that you have to have a SAMS number. Or are you requiring a SAMS number or on the paperwork?
I haven't seen that as an issue. Basically, however, the business has been submitting their quarterly payroll taxes, that should be sufficient. But obviously, every business is different. We have different situations that I don't always know the exact answer to, but our support and our analysts have more detailed information when it comes to businesses that have maybe a little bit more different setups.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you're the processors, and it's almost like you have underwriters in your office or
Yeah,
someone that makes sure that all of the T's are crossed
exactly.
and those kinds of things. So that's fantastic. That's good, and that helps people get legit. I've been our sessions the last few days have been talking about preparing paperwork and getting
Mhm.
ready and making sure that you have your SAMS number and your tax ID number. Now, those employees that employers that have employees that
Mhm.
have been doing, the IRS has been allowing them to use their social security number
Mhm.
as their business processing thing. But I've got two people working for me, and I've had two people working for me for a couple of years, but I don't have a tax ID number.
Mhm.
Does that affect that? Or does it, as long as I turn in a 941 form that shows that these people work for me and that these taxes have been deducted and I've sent that submitted to the IRS, is that good?
Correct. Yes, as long as a business owner is paying in for those employees and they're paying the taxes, then they should be qualified and have, as long as they have all the proper paperwork for each of those employees, then yeah, they should definitely qualify and be fine. Um, I definitely don't think it would need to be a reason where someone would not want to qualify, not want to try and get that tax credit on the taxes they have paid.
Okay. Now, is it a company? I had restaurants a few years back. I
Mhm.
owned seven, and
Okay.
I had a little over 100 employees.
Mhm.
So, does a business that has, I guess, is there a number that we would reach? How many employees really can I have, or
Okay.
can I file for all of them, or
Yeah.
what's the height of the magic number, or is it $1 million? I got a $20 million business. Can I get all of my 200 people? Can I get 20 grand for all of these people? What is the cutoff? I guess.
Right. So that is a great question. So it would be small businesses under 500 employees.
Okay.
So if a business has 499 and they qualify for the full 26,000, they would be looking at a really large amount of tax credit. I will say the larger the business, the larger the amount of employees. Obviously, the more analysis that has to be done. So I would definitely, as it gets up in the 200 to 300 to 400 amount, I would look at adding at least maybe another week on our processing time and then a little bit longer on the IRS's processing time.
Okay.
And definitely, yeah. So under the 500 employees, no 1099s, and they can see how they qualify. I will say too, the other little gray area that we've been finding, and I'm an accountant background. My uncle's a CPA. I know a lot of CPAs. Is that some small businesses have asked their CPAs maybe a year ago, do we qualify? And based on a year ago's qualifications, they maybe didn't. And so they haven't thought to ask again. They think they got the final answer, and CPAs maybe aren't keeping up on the information because it's tax credit information, it's stimulus information. But what I'm finding is there are a lot of accounts that have old and outdated information. So that's the other thing too, is for any small businesses out there, maybe they ask their CPA. We try to tell them, either ask your CPA again, but maybe they're not putting a lot of time and effort into it, as opposed to everything else they have going on or all their other services. So we definitely try and say that as well, since our process is free to apply and to try and qualify, that for small businesses to do that and see what they can qualify for. It's not necessarily saying that their CPA was wrong. Their CPA was right at the time, probably, and just has outdated information.
Okay. So now, I didn't qualify, not me, but I didn't qualify for the PP loan. Uh,
Okay.
and I'm not sure, I didn't apply because I don't have employees, but um, I think it was tied to, I heard some people that say, well, I got turned down because of my credit report. Uh,
Hmm.
I had employees, I turned in everything, but my credit was not credit worthy, and I didn't get the PP loan.
Right.
So credit has no bearings here. It's
Mm-mm.
just 941 form. If they worked for you during the window that we gave you, and all of these kinds of things, then you're pretty much good to go. So I say to the people that did not get PP loans for whatever reason, or did not get any help, to reach out to your company.
Mhm.
If you can tell us the name, because when this program is typing what you're saying and it's putting it. So I want you to give us the name of the company and how for them to be able to reach you. And I will also make sure that I have your information. We're going to put it in our upcoming newsletter and make sure that people will be able to qualify. And then I also need to know when the deadline is. When is this over? I won't wake up tomorrow morning and go, oh, you missed it. It was yesterday.
I know.
Yeah. So give us
Yeah.
the company and deadlines and that information.
Yeah. So I work for a company. It's called ERC Specialist. We are based out of Utah, but it is what's great about our program is it's an online web platform that everyone can do anywhere in the United States. My direct link is www.ercdirector.com, all lowercase. And if anyone goes there, they're able to look up more information on the business. There's facts, there's a question and answer. People can look up specific issues or topics, and they can even start their application. Like I said, it's a very simple process. They can also reach me at my phone number, which is 661-203-1446, or my email, which is aw@ercdirector.com. So yeah, that's how they would get a hold of me. And then as far as the time that it ends, so a company has 3 years after a quarter to amend their return. So for Q2 of 2020, which was the first quarter to qualify, they would have until Q2 of 23, which is next year. And then all the way through Q3 of 21, which is the last quarter to qualify for the tax credit, that will go until Q3 of 24. And the way it works is that the government, they approved a small business to receive up to $5,000 for an employee in 2020, but up to $21,000 for an employee in 21. So even if a business didn't have any employees in 20, but they started adding them on in 21, 2021 is the business year where a company can receive the most amount of tax credit for each of those employees.
Okay. Well, I can't see anyone waiting. I can hear them looking for their 941 forms, calling their bookkeeper saying, hey, I need to get this funding, because $20,000 or $21,000 is a lot of money for, to say, and these are grants, right? These are grants or?
No. So it's a tax credit. So essentially it's just like in your personal taxes. If you get a refund, a lot of people have the child tax credit that they're able to claim, different tax credits that essentially give them a refund. And that's what this is. This is a tax credit against the wage expenses that businesses already had. And so they're basically just getting a reduction of those expenses by getting a tax credit on those. So they've already paid out the money. Businesses have already spent this money. They've already paid this money on employees, maybe not necessarily to the IRS for taxes, but they paid these expenses for their employees. And so it's the government just saying, we're going to give you some of that money back.
Wow. Did you guys get that? This is a tax credit. This is basically a refund of money that you've already spent to be able to keep your business running, and over $20,000 per person that you have working for you is phenomenal. We're going to take a real short break. I'm getting a buzz, so that I'm going to take a look in the comments, and we'll be right back. We'll take a sip of our coffee while we're gone.
Are you ready to change your life? Let us help you. At Youth Build Charter School, you can get a high school diploma and kickstart your dream career in no time. We offer high school diploma programs in construction, CNA, military, college, and entrepreneurship. If you are between the age of 16 and 24 and you want to manage your studies with a job, recover your credits, or graduate early, We can help you achieve your dream. Call us at 1-888-395-4408 or visit youthbuildinlandempire.org.
Well, that is our high school program, part of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce. We have a school called Youth Build in the Inland Empire. And if you have a young person or know of a young person that needs to get a high school diploma, that have either aged out of high school or just didn't go back for whatever reason, got married, got a family, got a job, that you can now obtain a full high school diploma at Youth Build. It's not a GED. You don't have to take an exam, but you do have to come to school every day and finish the credits that you started when you left high school. So we kind of pick up where you left off at. If you only needed 10 credits to graduate, you can come to Youth Build and get those 10 credits and actually receive a high school diploma. And what I want to say to employees that are listening, because I'm getting in the chat, can we get any of that money? No, you can't. It's for the employer. But if you tell your employer about what you heard on Strictly Business this morning, they may be able to go back and get those fundings to help you keep that job.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that you need to be able to know and do. Once again, this is Rich Wallace, and I'm here with Ms. Woods, and we are talking about getting the employer some funds to keep the employees. So if we could take it from the top one more time, and just kind of let the ones that came in late. We started on time at 7, and I see around 7:15 we got about 20 people that just jumped in and they're asking questions. So we're gonna rewind the tape a little bit, and Ms. Woods is gonna go back and tell you how to receive these funds. It's a simple process, and we'll take about 10 minutes to do that.
Yes, thank you, Rich. So yes, ERC, what is it? It's Employee Retention Credit. It came out with the CARES COVID Stimulus Act. A lot of people have heard of PPP loans. That's normally a term that's widely known. And this actually came out when PPP loans came out. The problem is the qualifications have changed 5 times. So a lot of businesses originally, if they got PPP loans, they couldn't take advantage of the employee retention tax credit. So they looked into it, or they asked their payroll or CPA or finance experts, and they said, no, you don't qualify. So they haven't really looked at it or gotten more information. Since the end of last year, government opened it up to practically every small business that was affected by COVID. Originally, a business had to have a drop in revenue. That's not the case now. A business either qualifies through a drop in revenue, or if they had to have some type of full or partial shutdown due to a government mandate that affected their services or supply chain issues. Basically, every small business has dealt with some type of supply chain issue, some type of product or something that they haven't been able to get. So this has been a great fusion into these small businesses' finances with how hard it was to do business during COVID. It's for any small business under 500 W-2 employees. So no 1099 employees qualify. And excuse me. And the employer can receive up to $26,000 for each of those employees. The quarters that qualify of expenses is Q2 in 2020 through Q3 of 21. And a business has 3 years to amend those quarterly taxes. So they will have until Q2 of 2023 coming up to qualify for Q2 of 2020, all the way through Q3 of 24. But like we always tell our clients or anyone thinking of applying or thinking of maybe holding off, is that you never know with government. They could close the window at any time. They could stop accepting applications. They could hit a certain number that they decide we're done, and they could close it. As of now, they do not have a max number that they're trying to reach. PPP did have a ceiling. It did have a certain amount, and then they were done. The tax credit, it does not. So yeah, every small business, we definitely suggest applying, seeing what you can qualify for. With our business ERC specialist, it's free to do the application, to submit your documents, get an analysis, and we charge a fee at the very end once you receive that credit. The process the application process is very easy, takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you must upload your 941 payroll documents. Our CPA and payroll and tax experts and analysts will look through all those documents, make sure everything's accurate, make sure that we can get you the maximize your credit amount. And that usually takes about 2 weeks to 3 weeks, depending on how big the company is. And then the business owner will receive a secure docu-signature with their credit.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty simple. So
Mhm.
I'm saying to people before we leave is that all you need is your 941 form. Well, that's not
Yes.
all you need, but that's one of the most important forms that you have
Mhm.
to have because they must be employees. And you need to be able to upload those documents. This
Yes.
is different from the PP loan. This is
Mhm.
different from the DL grant. This is a
Yes.
tax credit of
Mhm.
money that you've already spent so that you can get up to $26,000.
Mhm.
I was watching a Family Feud the other day and they only won $20,000
Yeah.
and they had to split that between 5 people.
Yeah.
So this is instant for you. The process, once you've done your part, there's a 2 to 3 week process to get your paperwork in and make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And if you follow this, and we're going to have this on the chamber website, blackchamberofcommerce.org.
Yes.
We'll put a link. I'll get a link from Ms. Woods, and we'll be able to go to our website, hit that
Mhm.
link, get in touch with her, and then she will be able to, or someone from her office will be able to process you and to help you, because paperwork small business people fear paperwork.
Mhm.
Another form, and I don't understand what this question is, and it's just and as simple as you and I may think it is, but for the guy that's a plumber and got 2 employees, it may be a little complicated for them. So is there an 800 number, the number that you gave, and we're going to put this on our site? So will there be a hand-holding process to help me? Because I didn't do the PP loan because I didn't understand what they were asking me. And I get that a lot. I would have
Mhm.
done it, but it was just too complicated. And my
Mhm.
bookkeeper charges me every time I give him something, or this person charges me, or my cousin that does my taxes, she didn't understand what it was. So is there a hand-holding process on you guys' side once we get started or download the paperwork?
Yes, there definitely is. So what is so great about our company is that we've made the process very in easy to understand terms. That's why our application is so streamlined, because this is the about 170 to 180 page tax credit, and so our analysts have really analyzed it, made it easy. Once you submit your application, there are support. There's a number. There's support email. They will be sending emails and text reminders of what is needed. And I'm always available to help whatever client goes on there. I do want to say that once an application is docu-signed by a business owner and it's submitted, we submit it to IRS on their behalf. We submit it in all the proper ways. The IRS is taking about 3 to 5 months to process these, depending on how big the company is. Obviously, the smaller the company, under 50 employees, under 100, it's going through a lot quicker. But the larger tax credits, the larger checks that people are seeing, those take a little bit longer. So it's just about being patient with the IRS. The money does come. We have seen many that just they've been patient and they do receive those. But yes, our process and our support is there. We want businesses to be able to take advantage of this and get this. And so we are there explaining and definitely holding hands of our clients that need a little bit more help.
Okay. Uh, I know an IRS agent, and I want to say to our staff, and everybody fears the IRS and think that they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
They're just regular people doing their job. But if and we've got an agent that's agreed to come on our show, but there's a lot of clearances that they have to go through, and then we're being handed a list of questions that we can and cannot ask. So we're trying to get that clear, but we're expecting an IRS agent and also a Board of Equalization agent for retail taxes and those kind of things that people are faced with. Now I want to ask about the reporting. I got the 26 grand. It's up to $26,000 per employee. I want to say that because y'all need to hear that. It's up to $26,000 for every person that you have working for you. Now, I got the money. I did the right thing. Do I report this on my taxes next year?
No, so because we amended your tax returns, what will happen is the amount of your credit, it will reduce a business's deductible wage expense. So if a business's deductible wage expense was $1 million and let's say they received 100,000 in their credit, on that line item for the deductible wage expense, it would be reduced by the amount of credit. So it would go to 900,000. So it's definitely worth doing the credit, the reporting side with our application and process. We do the amended returns. We send it to the IRS. It's basically kind of like I use H&R Block for my personal taxes. I get it done in 15, 20 minutes, and I never have to see or sign or send a document besides anything online. And so that's really what our company's process is try to do for small business owners, is really make this streamlined and get this done for them.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely great. I'm getting the buzz to take another spot, and then we're going to come back and we'll wrap it up. So thank you so much, but don't go anywhere, Ms. Woods. We'll be right back. I have to talk about the Black Chamber of Commerce one more time.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.
And we're back. My name is Rich Wallace, and I am the president of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce with 15 chapters from the desert to the sea. And we're here this morning to talk to you about tax credits, up to $26,000 of money that could go in your pocket for the employees that you so much struggle to keep. So I wanted to get Ms. Woods one last time and just let you know how to be able to reach her, what to be able to do, start digging out that 941 form, and you can receive up to $26,000 for every person that you struggled to pay over the last year. So also, I do want to say that if a business has closed up in the last 30, 45 days, or maybe even further back, that you should apply. You should apply. You should let them tell you no.
Exactly.
Do not try to say, well, I did this and I did that, but up to $26,000 per person. And you can get that money by doing one thing, and that's filling out the application. And Ms. Woods, tell them how to reach you one more time before we sign out.
Yes, thank you, Rich. So if they want to go to my website link, it's www.ercdirector.com. That's where they'll get more information on our company. There's a link to click on Begin Qualifying if they want to see. My number is 661-203-1446. I can also help a business do the application over the phone. They might ask, what is this term, or what do they mean by this? And so I definitely can be there as a resource over the phone. And then also my email is aw@ercdirector.com. And so, just like you said, apply. Let us tell you no. When you do our application, nothing is being submitted to the IRS without your DocuSign. Nothing is being done until the official forms are submitted and we do our analysis. So definitely apply. And as you said as well, any business that was opened and had W-2 employees and qualified expenses in any time between Q2 of 2020 when COVID started and the CARES Act was passed through Q3 of 21. So if a business started at the end of 2020 and they had qualified expenses and they're shut down now, if they have those qualified expenses that they can submit for those quarters, then they could definitely be eligible for up to the $26,000 per W-2 employee.
Okay. And there's no limit on the number of employees. Well, there is a limit. You can't have 1 million people working for you.
Exactly.
You can't make $1 gazillion. So the owner of Amazon cannot apply for this. So
Yes.
I get the talk all the time. All they're doing is helping the rich people,
Mhm.
and this takes that away, guys. This the DL grant, I understand, may be coming back in October. This is taxpayer money. This is money you don't have to pay back. This doesn't have anything to do with your personal credit or even your
Mhm.
business credit. This is the fact that you have paid people and you have made it through. Well, you're making it through the pandemic and you're
Mhm.
doing what you're supposed to be doing. And if you are behind in your tax paperwork and you haven't filed, get caught up, go to your tax person, your CPA person,
Mhm.
and get those back taxes filled out. Now, what if I owe the IRS? What if my 941 form that I turned in and I was supposed to send a check with it and I didn't have the
Mhm.
check, and now I
Yeah.
sent the form in and the IRS is now telling me, hey, you need to send us this check. Can I still apply even if I owe the IRS?
Yeah, you can still apply because this is a credit that is you want to see exactly how much you qualify for that time frame. So your return that our company amends and sends in, they'll be able to do a net balance for what is owed or what you let us know that you're behind on. The time it might take a little bit longer to do the analysis. But yes, that's what's great about our tax and CPA and payroll experts is that they're able to look at all those details and check all that information and get you squared away.
Okay, so that's a possibility that I might get my back taxes paid through this. So, and those are some of the questions that are coming up. Well, I owe the IRS and I'm kind of hiding from them, you can't hide, number
Yeah.
one. But if you owe back taxes, employee payroll taxes from that 2-year window,
Mhm.
you can't go back to the payroll taxes that you owed 6, 7 years ago. But if you owe the IRS, you're slow in getting in the form because you didn't have the check to turn in with
Yes.
that 941 form. I was an employer and I began to not like employees because there's so many taxes that were dealing with the people, and then I'm dealing with the people, and they're not doing what I need to do, and I'm so angry. And
Mhm.
I got the my delivery went up on whatever I'm getting, whether it's air conditioners or food. The cost
Yeah.
went up because the gas went up, and I just didn't have the $12,000 or $15,000 to send in with the 941 form.
Mhm.
Because the Board of Equalization taxes I paid my workers' comp, and usually IRS is last because they give you a little bit of time. And
Mhm.
during that time that they gave me, I paid other people. So now I'm out of money. And
Yeah.
God, I need to send in this 941 form because I don't want to go to jail.
Okay.
Uh, uh, and if I owe the IRS, so you're telling me that there's a great possibility that I could still be funded while I'm in debt with the Internal Revenue Service. If I turn in the form, let Miss Woods and her company say, can't help you, or you know what? We can help you get out of that. We're going to give you this $26,000. Now we're going to keep 10 for the IRS. We're going to take our 15% and you're going to get the change. But look at that, guys. You get out of debt, you get a little bit of funding, and you get back on track. That's what they're trying to do with this company is get you back on track. If you were able enough to take care of your back taxes and take care of these things, you still need to get on track. I look in the grocery stores, the shelves are getting narrower and narrow, and they've already changed their choices. You used to have 12 choices of shampoo. Now you got two, and they only have one left in the store. So the different things that are going on and are happening. So thank you so much for being a part of Strictly Business
Of
on
course.
Edge TV Network. Ms. Woods, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate you coming out and doing this. But I'm going to have to ask you, I need to get back to you and have you on in a couple of weeks
Yeah.
again. Uh, our biggest show is usually on Thursday. We had about 19 people that came in and out, so they're asking questions. I think I got most of the questions to you, and we did get them answered. But I'm telling them, fill out the paperwork, go to the website, let them tell you what that process is. Don't make a decision on your own. I have people that are associated with us, and I'll tell them to do something. Well, they're not going to do that. How are you speaking for them? Do not speak for this. Do it yourself. Do not determine in your own mind that, oh, I owe the IRS, so I'm afraid to turn in my 941 form. No, fill it out, turn it in, and you may even send them a little sticky on there. I owe the IRS, so don't be shocked when they call you and tell you, hey, he owe us money. But then they want to get paid, and if they see a way for you to receive this $26,000 to take your debt down, there's a great possibility that could happen for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Antoinette Woods, for being a part of Strictly Business this morning. I'm going to ask you in front of everybody, I need you to come back in a few weeks, and we'll hook back up, and we'll get you back in. And do you have a statement that you would like to make to as we sign off here?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me this morning. It's definitely a passion of mine to share this accurate and updated information to small business owners. I have a heart for small business owners. My parents are small business owners, and I really just want to get this information out to those deserving Americans that worked hard during COVID, and this can really benefit them that kept employees on. So I'm very happy that you had me, and any other time you want to have me in the future, it will be my pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in, and we'll tap back in. And Ms. Woods is in Bakersfield?
I am. Yes. I'm out of Bakersfield.
Out of Bakersfield. So there's a Bakersfield chamber there. I'll make sure that they get your information. We have one out in the Fresno area as well. And we want to be sure that everyone gets this information because it's valuable. So we're going to have Ms. Woods on again. So if you missed it and you're trying to explain it to your friend, say this is what they need to do, and I don't remember what it is, go to blackchamberofcommerce.org, go to our website. There'll be a little bit of information on how to contact them and how to be able to process that. Now, are you guys taking on any nonprofit? I know with the DL grant, they had nonprofit organizations bringing people in and collecting the paperwork and then forwarding it over. Are you guys doing any of those processes, or just with your company or other companies that have already signed on?
Yes. Nonprofits and churches qualify for this. Any business that had W-2 employees. I actually went to the Vision Summit in Florida at the end of July and early August. It was the big church summit, and we were sharing the good news to churches. A lot of churches were negatively affected. Some of them, lost their buildings or different things like that. And if they had W-2 employees on the payroll, even though they're nonprofit or churches, they still can qualify.
Okay. That takes the myth out, y'all. Nonprofit, business license, information, tax forms. If you're out there doing the right thing, and as we talked about paperwork, and your paperwork process is in and done, nonprofits, for-profit, business.
Exactly.
$26,000, up to $26,000 per person. That's what I'm going to leave you with, up to $26,000. This is Rich Wallace with Strictly Business on EdgeTVNetwork.net. Thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing. Thank you so much, Ms. Woods, for coming out. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. And we're here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings at 7 a.m. This is Strictly Business. And thank you so much for being a part. We're going to take a commercial break. I don't think we're coming back. My people are waving at me, but I think we might be back. But we're going to do this chamber. And thank you.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here, to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.